This handy piece of work. This is the Alpha 350 from Sony. This is an awesome new DSLR. It's been on the market for just a little bit, and it's pretty cool. It brings a lot of nice features up from the A100 and A200 model, and it borrows some really cool features from the A700, which is their much higher end, much more expensive DSLR. This is a great beginner's DSLR. I'll go ahead and tell you that. This thing weighs about 24 ounces, fully loaded with memory and battery, so it's very light. It's very easy to use. It comes with a great 18-70 lens in this kit that is available with it, and I'll tell you what, it's got a lot of new features. First of all, live view has finally made its way to the Sony Alpha series, so pretty much right up there, you got a live view switch, and that pretty much puts it, whatever you're looking at goes on the back screen. So let me turn it on and see if I can show you. Let me skip out. So there's no card in there, so it's not going to show me anything, but normally you'd be able to see whatever's on the back here, which is great. Now, what's different about the live view, I don't know if you can hear this, but I'm going to turn live view on and off. You don't really hear anything. And that's because, unlike most of the other cameras that have live view, this camera doesn't actually flip the shutter up to show you it. It has a new mirror, and it's taking an image from your optical viewfinder to put it on here. So you're never going to hear that. You're never going to get that shutter lag, and you're never going to hear the shutter open before you take the photo when you first switch it to live view. Now, this is a 14.2 megapixel camera, so they also increased the size of the sensor. I think the last one was like 12. This is a nice increase, so 14.2 is great. The autofocus on this thing is extremely quicker. They got the high torque motor from the A700, and they got the improved AF sequences from the A700 as well, and it's almost 2 times faster in autofocus mode. As you can see, I'm kind of turning it right there, and it's taking some pretty good autofocus extremely quickly. You actually feel it in your hand, and it does that high torque motor, so very fast. They say it's actually 1.7 times faster than the A200, which is great. The other thing you'll notice is the back screen is a little bigger and a little clearer. That's a 2.7-inch clear photo LCD, and I'll tell you what, it's not just a regular LCD. If you pull it over here, you can tilt it. Check that out. That's pretty cool. You can tilt it up and you can tilt it down. You can do just about anything you want with this. It's great when you're, you have a tripod set low and you want to be looking at the photos continuously. You can move this screen wherever you want, even pointing down, pointing up. Very useful, and it's great for checking your photos to make sure that they came out right. Now, another thing you're going to notice that I love particularly is the percentage. You actually get a percentage of how much battery you're using. It's not one of those, oh man, 1 bar left. Well, what is 1 bar? Is it 10%? Is it 5%? Is it 100%? You never know. It's really annoying. This one tells you very clearly. Okay, very nice. Now, just to give you a quick overview of what's up here, obviously this is the switch for your live view and for your optical viewfinder. This is your timer and changes your whether you want to shoot continuous or single frame. This is your ISO adjustment button, which you can hold and switch with this up here. Okay, maximum ISO on this thing is 3200, and it's actually got some pretty interesting software or pretty much processing on there to keep it noise-free. Even at 3200 ISO, it will stay noise-free. It has 2 passes of anti-noise I don't know what you'd call it, processing, and there's even another one when you pull them off the camera to do further post-processing, noise reduction. What else can I say about this thing? Bunch of modes up here. If you're afraid of switching to a DSLR, you just want clearer photos, you can always shoot in straight-up auto mode. It will do everything for you. Autofocus, do all the exposure, the aperture, all by itself. You have your program modes for aperture priority and for shutter speed priority. You have full manual, and then a bunch of modes for macro and sports and landscape and no flash. There's a whole bunch of modes, so you don't have to be afraid if you're not ready to go full manual. You can if you want. Over here is your power button. Over here you're going to see some various menu buttons to control some of the different menus. And over here you're going to see the rest of your menu, DSP, trash, and then this is your playback button. Now, another thing that's interesting is, check this out down here. This is your steady shot. So you have steady shot on the body of the camera. It's not built into the lens, so it's actually built into the body. And that's going to give you at least a couple stops of extra exposure, which is awesome, or of aperture, whatever, whichever way you want, and it's on the body, so you don't have to have a newer lenses. Now, these old Sony cameras, there's 24 Sony lenses that you can use, or you can use the older Minolta lenses. Either way, even if they don't have lens stabilization, you can stabilize it on the body, which is really cool. What else can I tell you about this? Pop-up flash, that's kind of cool. You don't need to have the old school flash. You have flash built in, or if you want, you have a hot shoe. You can do pretty much anything you want up here. You can put any flash that will fit, and it will work. Now, you want to know what's in the box. Charger. Very important to charge your batteries. You can't take photos in a digital camera without a charger. You also get this little cable. This is pretty much a composite cable if you want to look at it on your television. You get a power cable for your charger. You get a mini USB cable to offload the photos onto your computer if you do not have a card reader. You also get a strap, a very nice orange Sony strap. I'll tell you what, one of my favorite things about this camera is that it has some orange in it. Everyone can use a little more orange in their life. You also get a brochure of all the lenses. In case you didn't know, 24 lenses are supported, including the older Minolta lenses, but there are 24 Sony branded, so if you want to get some fisheyes, some telephoto, zoom lenses, micros, macros, they're all there. You get basic quick start instruction, how to attach the lens, how to put the battery in. You get a driver disc with a bunch of great software, and a thick manual. Lots of good stuff in there. If you don't know how to take photos, after you read this, you will be pretty ready to go. And some registration sheets, an accessory brochure in case you want to buy extra stuff, extra lens caps, batteries, stuff like that. Oh, by the way, speaking of accessories, if you want, they do have a vertical battery grip for this, which is excellent. It gives you an extra shutter button over here, holds 2 batteries, and takes up to 1,500 shots with that optional battery grip. So keep that in mind if you're a prosumer. And then, of course, you get your 2 little caps for your lenses and your body. Great little DSLR, very awesome. 14.2 megapixel. That's pretty awesome. Tiltable screen, 2.7 inches. It looks very sharp. Great for looking at your photos. You can bring up grid lines. Something else I'll tell you, they have DRO on here. If you know the Nikon cameras and the Canons, they all have like their dynamic contrast, high range. They use all these keywords in there, but pretty much a dynamic range optimization on this camera is called DRO. And pretty much in high contrast images, what that does, it doesn't make you lose the detail in the dark sections or the overly bright sections. It keeps you, you keep all that detail in the dark and bright sections. So that's on board as well. It's going to help you get some great shots, especially when, let's say, somebody's facing the sun and you have a bright light, you're overexposing. It's going to fix that. It's going to make it look good. Great for sunrises and sunsets, stuff like that. Great little camera. Very simple. Great for beginners, but good enough for pros. It's the Sony Alpha 350. It's above the Alpha 200, below the Alpha 600. Great camera. Brand new. Brand spanking new. Lots of lenses. Good stuff. If you have any questions on it, email me. That's it. I'll see you guys next time. The Sony Alpha 350 DSLR is available from the retailers listed here. Or for more information, you can type in S08-